Why are so many podcast guests selling an online course? That was a listener question I got recently. I thought it was a good one. Shows you're paying attention. And first of all, there is some truth to that perception. So I looked at the last 100 Side Hustle Show episodes and found that between 20 and 30% of them featured a guest that had a course or product directly related to what we're talking about. So why does that happen? There's a few reasons for that. First of all, it's kind of been the unwritten rule of media for decades, really, like TV, talk shows, radio, and now podcasts. You help me with content my audience is going to find helpful or entertaining, and I give you a platform to drive exposure for your thing. The new season of your show, your book, your podcast, your upcoming movie, your service offering, and what's common in the entrepreneurial world, your online course. Another thing to consider is it's hard to expect someone to give an hour of their time, especially if they're busy entrepreneurs, and especially, like in the case of the Side Hustle Show, if the expectation is going to be that you're sharing behind the scenes stuff about how your business works to potentially create more competition for yourself if there's nothing in it for them. Like, you don't just see your favorite celebrity doing interviews unless they've got something to promote, and the podcast world operates similarly. I don't know if other broadcast media operates this way, like guests are paying to be on Jimmy Fallon, but some podcasts actually charge their guests multi-$1,000 appearance fees for the exposure and, the likely sales that they're going to get as a result. Now, to be clear, I've never charged guests to be on the Side Hustle Show. I can only imagine how difficult that would be to not turn every single episode into a thinly veiled infomercial if that was the case. Now, I love it when I get a guest who is purely excited to share their story, when there's no call to action. They just want to give back. They just want to motivate and inspire other people. And for the Side Hustle Show specifically, I'm in the fortunate enough position that actually happens a decent percentage of the time. But when it does, a funny thing happens. I get listeners messaging me, hey, loved your episode with so-and-so. What's the best way to get in touch with them? I'm thinking about starting the business that they talked about. Just had a few questions. And it happens often enough that I've had guests reach back out to me a few months later saying, hey, I'm thinking about creating an online course because I had so many people looking for free or even paid consulting on the topic. So it's a great way for them to leverage their expertise. Now, it's my job as the podcast host to make the content compelling and helpful, even if you don't want to buy the book, you don't want to see the movie, you don't want to enroll in the course. And under this model, we all get free content paid for by advertisers. Now, I try to make sure that my guests have a great experience. I'm happy when they see positive results, but my primary responsibility, the most important thing, my primary responsibility is to you, to the audience, because if I'm not serving you, if I'm not making your life better in some way, it doesn't take long before I don't have an audience anymore. In any case, I thought it was a great observation, a thoughtful question about why so many guests seem to have an online course. And hopefully this has shed a little bit more light on why that is. And if you have a guest in mind with nothing to sell but a great story, be sure to send them my way. Cheers.